Hey you guys, it's Missy. This is RNY and Mile High. It has been a few weeks since I have come to you with an update. Things were busy with the holidays. We went on a trip right before Thanksgiving, so it's just been kind of really busy. So the thing is that I kind of stalled for a couple of weeks. I didn't weigh while we were gone on our trip. We were only gone for a week. I wanted to keep weighing with my scale so it's you know, close to accurate as can be and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't weigh while we were gone on our trip, and I'll show you video at the end, pictures and video of our trip and what we've been doing and how our Thanksgiving was and all of that. So yeah, that's kind of what has been going on with us. I was in a pretty decent stall. It was like 2 weeks of a stall. So let's just get started with my stats and I will tell you what has gone on the last 3 weeks or so. So I had surgery on August 28th, 2017. At the time I was 38 years old. I am now 39 years old. I am 5'2". We've gone over this before. I'm 5'2" in the morning, 5'1" in the evening. So you know how that goes. My highest recorded weight was 244.2 pounds. The day of surgery, I weighed 229.6. The last time I came to you with an update, which was, I guess it was probably 3 weeks ago, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, I think 3 weeks ago, I was 191.6. When I weighed in yesterday, because my weigh-in day is on Monday, I was 185.4. So that is a total loss of, wow, really? 6.2 pounds? I guess. Maybe. I, for a couple weeks, stayed right there at 191.6 or 191. I think 1 week it was 191.4, another week it was 191.2, something like that. So I stayed right around there for a couple of weeks. Again, I apologize if there are any men on the channel. I will just gloss over this really quickly, but I did actually have a period, and so I think that's kind of one of the reasons I stayed there for as long as I did. I'm not particularly regular. In fact, I hadn't actually had a period in a year, so that was kind of interesting to get one. So anyway, my body seems to be regulating, so that's interesting. So yeah, there have been a lot of non-scale victories. I am starting to wear some medium and large tops instead of extra large, which is really nice. This sweater, as a matter of fact, is a medium, and so that's kind of cool. I've mentioned before going upstairs, which is a huge non-scale victory for me, so I am going to keep mentioning it. Sorry if you've heard it before and you're tired of it, but it's a big deal for me. So Thanksgiving, we had 14 people over, and I make the turkey and all, you know, turkey and dressing and potatoes and sweet potatoes and all that stuff. And we keep a lot of our not as frequently used dishes and that kind of thing downstairs. So for instance, my roasting pan is in our basement in our storage area, and so it's in there. It's kind of an unfinished area, and it has shelves in it, and we keep bulk food and, excuse me, all of my, oh my goodness, the hiccups, I'm so sorry, all of my custom cake decorating stuff and all that we keep downstairs also. So typically I send my husband to run back down and get different things throughout the day, and I was able to go run down the stairs and grab something and run back up and just be fine, able to breathe. Last year when I did Thanksgiving, I had to sit down a lot, put my feet up. I didn't feel very good. This year I did not sit down all day. I worked hard. I got all of the dinner ready, and when it came time to dinner, I put, you know, a bite here or there of everything that I wanted on there. I didn't do sweet potatoes because that's not, they had, you know, like brown sugar, marshmallows and all that, like a typical Thanksgiving sweet potatoes, so I didn't have any of those. I did have probably 2 bites worth of mashed potatoes. They were garlic mashed potatoes. They were really good. I did, the very first thing I ate was turkey, so I did eat my protein first. I had turkey, I had mashed potatoes, I had, I don't remember, but I put, you know, a bite of little things each on my plate, and then when I the instant I started to feel even a little bit full or even a little hiccupy, I just passed my plate on to my husband and he finished it for me. So I felt really good because I never got full, which was good. I was satisfied but not full. So it was nice. I was one of the people who was not miserable after Thanksgiving, and that was a really big deal to me. So I'm excited because I've learned with the gastric bypass that there are certain things that I cannot have, sugar being one of them. My husband had pie for dessert. We had 5 or 6 different pies at our Thanksgiving for dessert. So my husband had pie and I had 2 bites of it. And that was it. That's all I wanted. So yeah, it was good. It was really good because I was not full. So that was a huge NSV for me. Also, I was worried about Thanksgiving, and not because I thought I was going to eat too much, but just because I thought it would be awkward to not be eating. You know, I cooked all this food and everybody else was eating. And you know what I did? I had my dinner, and then while everybody was still eating, I still had my protein shake. I've been having my protein shake in my cup. And I still have my protein shake that I had kind of been nursing all morning. And I just sat there with my shake and I sipped and talked to people, and it wasn't awkward at all. It wasn't awkward. I felt good. When everybody was, you know, wanting to explode, I didn't feel that way. So it was really neat, and it really made me happy. So that was that week. And then the week before that, we were in Texas visiting family. That was a little bit hard because we eat, you know, good fruits and vegetables and all of that with my protein. And my husband's family isn't super healthy eaters. So we did go by, I bought some Greek yogurt, some non-fat Greek yogurt and stuff like that, and some fruits and veggies and nuts and different things that were better snacks and choices for my family. Because I think I've told you guys before, my husband is diabetic, and actually right before we went to Texas, he got diagnosed from type 2 diabetic to a type 1 diabetic. So we're doing some research because he's the military, and as kind of a little side note, we have discovered that a lot of people that are in the military end up, if they deploy to Iraq or Afghanistan, they end up with diabetes. A lot of people have come back and ended up with diabetes. There's some suggestion, some research suggests it might be related to the anthrax vaccine. Some research suggests all kinds of different stuff. So we're kind of doing some research about that. So if you have any information about that, just as a random aside, if you are military or former military, or your spouse is, and you have come down with either type of diabetes, let me know. Put it in the comments below and let me know, because that's something that we're kind of researching and checking into. So anyway, right before we left, he was diagnosed as a type 1. He is always, since he was diagnosed as type 2, which was only a couple years ago, he has led more of a paleo lifestyle. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically, well, for him anyway, it's kind of a modified paleo, but it basically looks like meat and fruits and vegetables, everything. We don't need anything out of a box. You know, it's just really good, clean, healthy eating. No grains and that kind of thing. So he's been doing that, and his numbers looked really good. So, and then he started kind of having, the honeymoon period was over and his blood sugar was starting to raise again. Of course, he went through a period of time where he didn't eat very well, and that caused his blood sugar to go up. But after that, he got back on track. His blood sugar wasn't coming down as quickly as they wanted it to. And so they did some more testing and discovered they think that he's type 1. He is going to go for a second opinion because he just wants to make sure. So, and being military, it's gonna probably cause a medical retirement, but we'll see. He's gonna try and stay and try and fight it. But anyway, that's not the point. So the point being, his family is not the healthiest eaters, and we need to eat healthy. For me, I function a whole lot better, and I can actually eat more if I'm eating a protein and stuff that isn't very carby. So I can eat, you know, I can get a little bit more in ounces wise if I'm eating. Like today for lunch I had tuna fish, and it had tomato and onion and celery and stuff in it, and that was really good. and I could eat, I think I ended up eating about 2.5 ounces of that, 2.5, 3 ounces, something like that. Whereas if I tried to eat, you know, a sandwich or something like that, I'd only be able to eat maybe 1/4 of a sandwich. So I've learned the things that make my stomach hurt, and I just avoid them. Bread doesn't like me, which is okay. Bread used to be one of my favorite things. It's good. I don't like it now. So it doesn't, I mean, it's been really nice to have the different things. Sorry about the glare on my glasses. I can't see. I don't have my contacts in today. So let's see what else. Oh, so for that week, I had a hard time getting protein in because I accidentally made it down to Texas without any protein powder. So I did go get a couple of protein shakes, some Premier Proteins, and I did do that. And that was alright, but I've been doing protein powder in my Greek yogurt, so I get a really good hit of protein when I have my Greek yogurt. And that's been really nice, but I just, you know, in our haste to get out the door and get down there, I put the protein powder on the counter and left it. So that was difficult. I made as healthy food choices as I could while I was there. I just found myself in situations where some healthy choices weren't really options, and so I did the best that I could, and I ate very little. So I think that has a reason. That was probably another reason for kind of stalling that week, is I wasn't able to eat as much protein and the things like that that I should have been able to. So lesson learned. I'm gonna bring a whole lot more choices for myself next time and all that. So, but it was good. We enjoyed seeing family, and I will give you, like I said, at the end of this video, we'll post video of that too, pictures and stuff. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was alcohol after surgery. So in my program, sorry, my hair is, it's kind of yucky. But anyway, in my program, they advise not to have alcohol for a year after surgery. And that is fine. I'm not a huge drinker, but we did go home to Texas and we go out and we sing karaoke. That's something my husband and I do. That's actually how we met, was at a karaoke place. And one of my favorite bartenders in the entire world that I haven't seen in years was there. She knew we were coming to town, and she was not the bartender, but she made up my favorite Bloody Mary mix. And so I did have a Bloody Mary both nights. Just one, and I drank it. I sipped on it all night long. So I was very careful. I told them to go very light on the vodka. It was one of those things where it was worth it to me to have some extra calories, but I can see how people can have a problem if they're not careful. So I'm hyper aware. My biological father is a recovering alcoholic. He's like 30 some odd years sober, but I'm very hyper aware of alcoholism, and I did not want to have any kind of problem with it. So I had one each night. The first night I did finish it. The second night I didn't even finish it. So I was very careful. And some people have no problem drinking right after. I think it's really advised to avoid it. But I did do it. So I just thought I'd tell you guys about that. Let me know what you think if you get a chance in the comments about alcohol after surgery, and if it's affected you any, if you're post-op or if you're pre-op, kind of what your plans are for that. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Let's see what else. That's it. Like I said, some really good NSVs. I have a random weird NSV. I have these boots that are, you know, calf height boots. They almost come to my knee actually, but you know, tall boots, and they're very loose. I can actually stick my arm down there in my boot with it. So that's kind of interesting. I really don't want to have to buy new boots. I'd like to get one more winter out of these boots, so we'll see. I am cold all the time, which is completely different for me because I used to be hot all the time. So that is interesting. So yeah, I cannot believe, I think I've told you, well, I don't know if I told you guys or not, but my total loss since my highest recorded weight is 58.8 pounds. so almost 60 pounds already. And today is actually my 3-month surge anniversary. So I cannot believe it. So I'm gonna do this as my 12-week post-op, and then I will do a 3-month kind of quick update with a body shot, and I'll show you my incisions and all that stuff too. And I am going to do, now that I'm back and kind of in a routine, I am going to do what I eat in a day video really soon too. So yeah, that's what we have going on. Oh, another story to tell you quickly. The day after Thanksgiving, Friday, I was exhausted because I had worked right up until Thanksgiving, and then I did Thanksgiving dinner. You know, we hosted at our house like I told you, with 14 people. Excuse me, hiccups. With 14 people. So Friday, I spent off and on sleeping kind of all day. I did a little bit of homework. And then Friday evening, we were getting ready to go out to supper with some friends. And here I am in a towel on my bed, putting my makeup on, and then our smoke detector started going off. And I had been boiling the carcass of the turkey for, you know, all night and all day. This, you know, I boil it and I make soup. So I had been boiling the carcass of the turkey all night and all day. It had plenty of water. Everything was fine. So I was like, I don't know what that's about. My husband went out of the bedroom to check, and it was the carbon monoxide alarms going off. So we opened all the windows, aired everything out, and they stopped going off. Then they started going off again. We checked everything. We checked the pilot light on the heater on the furnace. We checked it. I have gas stove and oven. We checked that. We checked to make sure that there was still a flame under the pot that was boiling the turkey, and there was. We turned everything off. We opened all the windows. We aired it out. They finally went off, but we couldn't figure out the source. So I called the non-emergency fire department number, and they sent somebody out. So they came out. The fire department came out. Luckily, they did not light up my neighborhood, but they did bring a fire truck. The chief's, you know, SUV, and an ambulance, because I was having symptoms. I ended up refusing medical attention. It was a headache, you know. It's like once I get some fresh air, I feel like I would be fine. It actually lasted several hours. I had a headache and was nauseous, and the headache started about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes before the alarms went off. And so I just thought my husband had a sinus headache for a couple of days, and so I just thought it was getting his sinus infection. It turned out that's what it was from. I had pretty bad effects from it. So the fire department was getting some readings, pretty low readings, but still some readings. They'd rather have zeros. They were getting like a 7 in our basement. So they called the gas company. The gas company came out, and he was getting 16s in our basement. And so they're supposed to be 0. So he red tagged our furnace and our water heater, valved them off, and told us we needed to get a third-party contractor to fix our stuff. So that was Friday night. He said I wouldn't call on Friday night because the after-hours charges are usually pretty exorbitant. So call tomorrow, but you can stay in your house, but it's going to be cold tonight. So luckily, my parents live 20 minutes from us, so we went and stayed at their house while our house was kind of not inhabitable for a couple of days. So we did that. I called a great place here in town called Allied Plumbing and Heat, and they were phenomenal. They came out and discovered it was the vent cap on our roof and replaced it with a little bit better quality one. So everything's good, and we're back up and running, and no carbon monoxide in our house, which is good, but it was scary. So luckily all of that is taken care of, but that was the excitement for a couple of weeks. Sorry this is ended up being a longer video, but I wanted to give you guys a total update and tell you I am back. I'll be much better about giving you weekly updates and all that good stuff. So I hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. I am so blessed and so thankful, and so I just really appreciate your support. And yeah, if you have any comments, or if you are also going through gastric bypass or have the gastric sleeve surgery and you have a YouTube channel, put a comment down below and I will be glad to follow you because I like listening to everybody's stories. So yeah, you guys have a good one. Bye.